United in Strength. This is Mike Alexander here, your online strength coach, hard gainer extraordinaire. And yes, that is a birthday balloon behind me. And my birthday was a week ago plus. Good news for some of us out there, depending on what part of the country we're in. Some gyms have already reopened. With, of course, some capacity limits. And some places are waiting for a set date for their gyms to reopen. My gym might or might not be one of them. But let's face it, sure, you may have been doing your best to keep in shape from training at home. I might have, provided one or two workouts myself, and I'll provide the links to those in the description box below. But none of that matters once you return to hitting the iron. Because no matter how many multiple sets of body weight squats you could do, or how many push-ups you could do, they could give you a good pump. Resistance bands being put into the equation can help you get a little bit stronger. They have for me. But unless you're fortunate enough to have a garage gym of your own, or basement gym, or whatever, or rent equipment from other people, and you have the money for that, your body is pretty much deconditioned. Deconditioning is when you have developed any kind of muscular imbalances to lack of joint flexibility, and the big one, especially most of us who have been working from home, sitting at our desks for the most part, that is a lack of core stability. Because even if you're getting up and doing burpees or walking around the block or doing planks, sometimes life gets in the way. Life definitely got in the way for me, but that's none of your beeswax. So don't think for a second that you're going to be able to get into the gym, kick the doors down, slow motion movie-like, sunglasses on, and just go back to your big bodybuilding routine, or your powerlifting routine, or your strongman routine. No. And this is even more important if you're a naturally thin, lanky, or tall person, which I am. You might have to start over again. There's a reason why you're seeing that thumbnail that I picked where I'm squatting just 65 pounds. Because I might be one of those people who have to start over again. You also might be one of them. But that's okay. Because a lot of people are going to have to rebuild their strength foundation. And that's what this is all about here. And that's why we're about to talk about some compound movements right now. Are you sick of hearing me talk about compound movements? Well, too bad. I talk about them a lot, but for a reason. And now they're even more important than ever for all of you. I don't care who you are. Because regardless of your interests and your strength levels, full body training with strictly compound movements will be the way to go for a lot of you for a while. Full body training 3 times a week, for a quick reminder, will increase your testosterone production. Free testosterone production, I should say, will boost your fat loss, will increase your training frequency, and more frequency means more stimulation, which means better growth for your gains, and will also mean shorter training periods. And I want you to think about that fourth thing I just mentioned, shorter training periods. I don't want you going into the gym and fraternizing with your buddies who are bound to act like they haven't been in a gym in years. That is a distraction. If you were smart enough to keep yourself active during this time away, and they happen to be one of those people who are bitching and moaning that their precious gym was closed and they didn't do anything, guess what? You were ahead of them the whole time. Do yourself a favor and keep it that way. With that in mind, here's a sample 2-phase, 9-week, 3-day-a-week routine I came up with to help you rebuild your strength base. I had mentioned this already, and it's going to be in the article, but compound movements will be key here. They are the king. They are everything. You want to get your back, you want to get monstrous triceps, you want your biceps to look decent, you want a nice sized chest, you want big quads, you want a nice round booty. This is what you're going to do. This is a 2-phase routine. The first 3 weeks will be phase 1. The weeks 4 through 9 will be phase 2. And I'll explain that in a second. So for phase 1, you will do back extensions, 3 sets of 10, and then you'll add resistance band when you're comfortable. Then after that, you'll add weight. And resistance bands are dirt cheap, by the way. You'll do squat for 5 sets of 5. You'll do bench press for 5 sets of 5. You'll do deadlift for a working set of 5. More on that in a moment. Phase two will be the same thing, kind of. Phase two lasts for the last 5 weeks of this routine. Back extensions again, 3 by 10, by which point you should be adding weight. Squat again, 5 by 5, but remember this, actually, no, I'll get to that in a second. Bench press, 5 by 5, and then you'll be alternating between chin ups and deadlifts. Chin ups, you do 5 sets of 1 to 3, how many to failure. And then deadlifts, again, one fixed set of 5. This workout here, I believe in taking inspiration from things I've tried and believe work for me and I believe could work for the rest of you, and I make them into my own. You don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. Therefore, this routine does borrow quite a bit from Reg Park's legendary 5 by 5 routine, which I did try recently, and Mark Ripeto's starting strength routine. For example, Mark Ripito prescribes in starting strength doing power cleans in phase two of his 9 week routine. I cannot do power cleans because I have a prior wrist injury from the end of 2017, and I do not want to risk any injuries, especially as I'm going to be getting back to this game most likely by July. So I just don't do them. On the other hand, I do not believe in performing 3 fixed sets of deadlifts via Reg Park's routine, because my back, when I was doing that, was getting very, very tired near the end, and I was dangerously close to hurting myself, especially with stress from work and being tired and everything else. So one main set it is. So once you get to phase two of this routine, you'll alternate between chin-ups and deadlifts, okay? So if you perform chin-ups on Monday, you'll do deadlifts Wednesday, and then you'll do chin-ups again on Friday. And then the next week, you'll start off with deadlifts on Monday, chin-ups again on Wednesday, and then Friday you do deadlifts again. The whole point of that is to help you work your back a little more, and maybe your biceps a little bit, because it's a compound movement that will, chin-ups that is, that will work not just your back, but your biceps, but also give your lower back a much needed break, because this is a linear program, okay? How you increase the weight per session per week is all up to you. So if you think you can make 20-pound jumps on the deadlift for a while, by all means, go for it. But don't be foolish either. Don't rush anything just because you want to get back to where you were or where you think you were or where you should be. You were gone. You had a long layaway, man. And there's no need to rush just to get back to where you were before this whole thing escalated back in March. You can do it, and you could also do it without getting hurt. Something to think about, all right? For rest days, you will foam roll. You'll do some stretching and even some sort of conditioning, whether you'll be hill sprints, burpees, whatever works for you. Have you been taking walks every day since the lockdown began like I have? Good. Keep walking. Keep your heart rate up. This will help boost your metabolism, and this will help keep your heart rate up, and it'll help keep you energetic. And that will be a great source of your conditioning right there. Boom, done. Before I go, I wanted to remind people that my quarantine special is still going on. I'm still offering Zoom and Skype at home training for those of you who are either jobless, their gyms are not opening, or they're not really keen on going into the gym just yet. I might be one of those people. I don't blame you. The link will be in the description box. I hope to hear from you. And remember, stay safe and stay strong and train smartly, train wisely. We will get through this together. Until next time.